it, I didn't even buy the freaking boning. I gotta turn around. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Jen, and on this channel we talk about upcycling, sewing, thrifting, how to have a more sustainable wardrobe through thrifting and swapping and shopping consignment stores, and just how to rework your wardrobe without spending a whole lot of money on a lot of new clothing. I also share a little content on travel because I enjoy travel and I enjoy thrifting while I am traveling. So I try to bring you on some of those trips with me. If this sounds like something that you're interested in, then be sure to click that subscribe button below and click on that bell so that you don't miss an update. And be sure to give your girl a like as well. So it has been an extremely long time since I've done any sewing or upcycling, and you guys are gonna hear about some of what's been going on over the last few months. One of which is that I moved, and being in transition, it really doesn't allow you to do a lot. So I had to cut back on the sewing and upcycling so that I could just get things together. I also moved out of my studio. Yes, after being in there for 2 years, I just decided that I would bring everything home. So in a few weeks, you guys will get the whole moving, setting up this new sewing studio in my new place. You'll get all of that. But for now is a denim dress upcycle, and I'm excited about this one because this is going to be a 2-part series. So today you're gonna see kind of how I selected the pattern, where I got it from. So there's a little twist in part 2. So part 2 will do the finishings in addition to the twist. So you're getting about 40 minutes, 30 to 40 minutes today. And then next week you'll get about another 30 to 40 minutes. But I promise you, it's worth it. It's a great idea of something that you can do. It's something that's trending. It's something that I'm excited about. I can't wait to wear it. And even though I started working on this in June for the summer, I feel like it's gonna be just fine for me to wear in the fall. So I'm excited about it. I hope you guys enjoy. This is definitely a sew along. You can sew along with this video. So go ahead, watch them start to finish, then go back and do some stop and starts and follow along with me as I create this denim dress. I'm going to style it next week, so you'll see how I style it for the summer and the warmer months, and then you'll see how I style it for that kind of in-between fall, summer, fall type time period. Which, no further discussion, let's get into this upcycle. I went on Etsy and I was looking for a pretty simple, basic pattern. I wanted a strapless dress with princess seams. Put that in the search. This one came up. It is in multiple languages, multiple sizes, and it had some pretty decent reviews. So I figured, let me just go for it. It's got all the directions. I will link it below. This particular pattern has 5 pattern pieces. Again, multiple sizes. So if you need to make adjustments for a larger bust, larger hips, smaller waist, you can do all of that. I printed the pattern pieces using some heavier weight white paper, taped it together with just clear tape, and cut the pattern pieces in the size that I needed. I used 4 pairs of denim jeans that were similar in color. And so here we go. All right, I decided to do a little voiceover here because I needed to explain this process in a little bit more detail. I am using 4, likely 5 pairs of jeans during this process. The pattern pieces themselves are extremely long. I believe this dress hits somewhere between like mid-calf. And so because of that, and because the jeans, even though it seems like the leg of a pair of jeans would be long enough to accommodate these pattern pieces, that's not necessarily the case. Now, granted, when you do this, you can piece pieces of denim together. You can decide to use the full pants leg if you want. You can shorten this dress if you like. You can make it longer. I'm just showing you the way I decided to do it. In hindsight, there are a few things that I would have done differently, and one would have been I would have made the dress shorter. So what you see me doing now is taking each one of the pattern pieces, laying them out on a pair of jeans, folding up the bottom about 7 or 8 inches to make sure that it fits. And then once I get it all laid out, then I'm going to lay it out on the floor and make sure I've accommodated all of my pattern pieces, and then I will begin to cut. That is extremely important. Do not cut any of your pattern pieces until you have figured out where each one of them is going to go, because if you run out, then you've got to figure out, well, where am I going to get another pair of jeans that's kind of looks similar? And for me, I did want my jeans to have a similar hue. So I didn't want like a stone wash next to a really dark denim. I wanted the pieces to look similar. And you'll see towards the end why, for me, that was important. All right, so
go ahead,
let's get back into
and
it.
Use these. I feel the pocket is right here. Now, and the good thing about all these pattern pieces is they're so narrow. That's like the best part of it, because now you can kind of maneuver how you want. This is the center front. Okay, so the center front, I'm gonna fold up 7 inches. Oh, it doesn't fit, it's too long. It overlaps the pocket, and I don't want to take that out. This is the center back. So let me fold up the center back and see if we can use that here. All right, so now, still overlapping with the pocket. All right, let's find another pair. All right, so I just pulled out another pair, and it still was not long enough. So what I think I'm gonna end up doing is, I think I'm going to take this pocket off, and this will just be like there. All right, so I took this part of the pocket apart because I just don't have time to do all of that. Bring this down, and then I'm going to pin it. I also went on ahead and took loose this pocket as well, and I'm going to, since this is the center back, I'm going to, okay, so camera died, battery died rather. So I'm going to go ahead, since this is the center back, I'm going to go ahead and do center front here. Alright, so you got this piece here, this one here. I'm going to fold this out of the way. I don't even know what this brand is, but I tried to get jeans that were kind of all in the same family so that they wouldn't be so different, but different enough. Alright, so I don't know what I was cutting this for. Who knows, but I already started taking this one apart. I think we're going to use this leg for the side panel. So let me flip that over and then pull out my side piece. And again, you see it's covering the pocket. So, you know what that means? Even when I flip it over, it's still covering the pocket. All right, well, I'm gonna go ahead and take this pocket off and we'll just have that in there, no big deal. Okay, I managed to get this piece on here. I had to pretty much take most of the pocket off. And then I had to feel around under here to make sure that I wasn't overlapping with the front pocket. And I didn't, like I said, I didn't want to get too much of this in there. So we got the side piece, we got the other pieces. I'm gonna show you the full view laid out on the floor. All right, so here we have the center back and the center front cut from the same pair of jeans. Then we have the side back and the side front cut from the same pair of jeans. And then the side panel cut from a separate pair of jeans. My only hesitation is, and maybe it's not, I do feel like this piece is a lot lighter than the rest of them, but maybe that's okay. So, all right, and the other thing I'm thinking about doing is dropping everything down to the seam. I'd wanted initially to have a frayed edge, but honestly, I'm thinking that I want to incorporate the hem that's already here into the dress. So I think I'm gonna drop everything down here so that these all in there, and this is actually the hem. If I don't like it, I can always take the stitches out and just have a raw edge. So that's what I'm gonna do, shift everything down, and I'll be back.
What are you waiting for? Click that subscribe button below and click on that bell so that you don't miss an episode. All right, let's get back to this upcycle.
For those of you who are experienced seamstresses, experienced sewers, you might be thinking, how did I manage to stay on the correct grain line while I was laying the pattern out, cutting and sewing? Well, I'll be very honest, I mostly eyeballed it. Since the grain line was already being taken into consideration in the original pair of jeans, there was no real way for me to gauge where the grain line was. So what I made sure is that each one of the pattern pieces was laid out as straight as possible. I did look at the striations in the fabric, you know, and I did the best that I could, and I think it came out okay.
These are all the pieces cut out. I, of course, cut my notches. Anybody who's ever been in my class knows how important notches are. I did lengthen or pull it down, pull the pieces down so that this hem is at the bottom of all of the pieces. I just realized that I do not have a zipper and I don't know where my boning is. So I'm gonna run to the fabric store, pick up some boning, pick up a zipper, and then we'll resume later on. Okay, so I ended up going with the black, the blue, the black with the silver because I really wanted the silver zipper, and then I got the navy blue with the gold, and I don't want gold, and then I bought a white one because I have plans for some white denim, so we're gonna see how this works out. I didn't even buy the freaking boning. I gotta turn around. I
forgot the boning because I was so distracted and trying to get out of there. I wish this other store was open. I'm looking now.
Boning. Velcro, elastic, more elastic, bra extender. Okay, here it is. Now, okay, I think I'm gonna go with encased boning, featherlight boning. Okay, so all the pieces here together. I will note that the center front piece should have been on the fold. So that is going to be somewhat of a problem for me. The seam allowances are 1 centimeter, which is approximately, let's see, 1 centimeter. It's almost, but not quite, a 1/2 inch. So there's your 1/2 inch, there's your centimeter. The good thing, what I have going for me is that I did cut a little wider here down the center. So I'm going to make my seam allowance a little less in here to compensate for the fact that this should have been cut on the fold. So I'm going to start with the center front, and I'm going to lay these pieces out and start to pin them together. First, I need to mark the pieces because I know it'll be difficult for me to remember what's what. I am going to sew the back and the front separate because of the way I'm going to do my zipper. And I want, when I was at the fabric store, you guys saw I bought these 3 zippers. And I really would prefer the silver, but the silver is black. So I'm going to go, I think I'm going to go with the blue. I'm going to look and see what the back of the dress looks like before I make a decision. All right, so we're gonna start with the, we're gonna start with the center front. And I've already put right sides together. And I'm going to go ahead and sew down the center front. I am not going to sew at 1 centimeter. I'm gonna sew less than 1 centimeter since this is supposed to be on the fold. So there we go. So we're gonna first put some pins in here, to keep it. It won't really slide much, but I like to put pins in just to keep myself honest and make sure that I am lining things up properly. This is especially important when you're matching up your notches. You want to make sure that you pin really well so that you don't have as much difficulty when it's time to sew. I also want to make sure that my bottom edge is where it's supposed to be. This is going to be really important because remember, I did this all the way around. All right. Okay, now that I have pinned the top, I'm going to start pinning from the bottom. So what you guys didn't see is when I first sewed this, it was uneven. So I went back, seam ripped it, and made it even. So I decided I'm gonna start at the bottom, match up the bottom on both sides. start at the bottom and I'm pinning, and when I get ready to sew, I'm gonna sew from the bottom all the way up. What I'm gonna do next is I'm going to pin the back, because I really want to get to see what that zipper is gonna look like. I'm very upset that I couldn't get the right color zipper. All right, so this is actually really close in color. The striations in the center are a little different, but I like that the sides match. So this is the very front of the dress. Here is what the hem looks like. All right, so now we're gonna start on the back. All right, we've got the center back, and the center back doesn't have any notches in it. So we're gonna put right sides together. And the way I plan to sew this zipper on is, let's just go with the blue. It's probably, honestly, it's probably gonna be the blue. I mean, at this point. But I want the full zipper exposed. So I want the flaps of the zipper, everything on the outside. I really like that kind of design feature. You guys have probably seen me do this before. I like the zipper on the outside. Now that's the blue. And this is the black. And I'm still torn because I feel like I want to go with the black, but I feel like it makes sense to go with the blue. The problem is that it's got the gold zipper, and that's gonna limit me to gold. And all right, I'll decide. Okay, now we're going to line up the side back. Now I'll tell you what I didn't do. I didn't cut all of my notches. Oh, you guys, you all know I am like, oh yes I did, but no, I didn't do this one. Okay, so there's one at the top that I didn't get. So when I lay this one on top of there, I gotta make sure that that matches, okay? And then just go in. Put a pin in there. That way I know exactly where that notch was supposed to be. And then I can match it up. Although I did put the other one in. All right. So now that I've pinned the top, it looks like I've got a little slack in there, so that's gonna get interesting. Maybe I didn't measure correctly, but I'm going to find my way to make sure that this gets smoothed out. So this little bit that's in here will get smoothed out. All right, so we'll go ahead and match these notches up here. Put pins in there. Drop down to the hem. Match up my bottom here. This one is a little better than the other one. Yeah, my cutting was probably off, and that's just because I was moving things around a little. Oh, no, it's not. That one's good. Okay. I think the reason why I have a little bit over here is because I was shifting, trying to make sure that the bottoms match. Okay, so this is one side here. This is one side here. These are very different colors. Same jeans, different color. All right, now to add the last piece, I'm gonna go ahead and attach the side panels to the back and not the front. I'm gonna get as much in there as I can. And you guys, I love this being on here. That little piece of pocket, oh, I'm so glad that I let it stay on. All right, so now we've got, let's see. I think this goes here. I think it's that way. I'm gonna double check the pattern. All right, so I've got it all pinned together, and this is what it's looking like. I love the shades in the back. I really like that, so I'm happy the way this turned out. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna sew these all at 1 centimeter, and I'm also gonna sew down the center and figure out which zipper. Again, I think it's going to be the blue zipper. In fact, now that I'm looking at the colors and the way everything is flowing together, it's definitely gonna be the black zipper, I mean the blue zipper. So that's what I'll sew on top. All right, let's go to the sewing machine.
One of the most important parts of sewing is the pressing. So once you sew a seam, you want to press it flat, especially when it comes to working with denim. This is going to give you a nice, clean, professional look, and it also makes the pieces appear to be one. There's obviously, different colors here, but when you press them, it gives you a nice, clean finish. I am placing the zipper right on top of the outside of the dress. I love exposed zippers. It's something about that more kind of utility kind of look that really appeals to me, even in something that has more of a feminine kind of flair to it. So after I stitched the back seam, I pressed the seam flat, and then I placed the zipper right on top of the seam, making sure that the teeth of the zipper were placed right on the seam. When I took it to the sewing machine, I ended up, I should have used a zipper foot, but I didn't. So I had to zip down a little bit and then stitch and then zip the zipper the rest of the way up so that I could sew all the way down. So here you see me sewing down on one side. I'll go all the way down to the bottom, do a little back stitch to reinforce, and then sew down the other side.
I like it a lot. I'm gonna go ahead, and seam rip this open. Actually, I'm gonna sew the front to the back now. So, match up these side seams, my notches. I'm gonna sew down each side. I'm gonna try this on and let you guys see. Okay, y'all, the camera fell on the floor and it did something really weird. So I'm going to put the camera on the cutting table and try to see if I can get you a visual this way. I feel like I've got extra, you know, like it could be taken in here. It also needs to be a lot tighter up here. And I haven't put the boning in yet, so it doesn't have the structure that it should have. I want it a little more tighter. So I'm gonna put some pins in here to mark where I can bring it in more. Definitely in the bust area. We're gonna make it tighter here. And then on the side, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in on the side panel because I think that'll be easier. I do want a little more pulled in here in the tummy area and in the hip area. I really want I want it to be fitted. So I don't know if I just should have sized down. I am normally between a 4 and a 6, and I'll look back on the pattern. Maybe I just didn't cut the right size. I don't know, because this, you know, and I know I did my seam allowances right. So, but I don't want to make it too tight, and I don't want it to be this loose here at the bottom. So unless I was gonna put godates here or pleats or something else. And again, I'm kind of feeling like I want to do something about it. So let me show you what I'm going to do at the top. Enjoyed part 1. As you can see, the dress is coming together amazing, and I'm going to add a few little extra things on there. We'll start off the video next week going right into finishing up the upcycle and how I put the little twist on it. So I'll see you back here next week, and don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to hit that bell, and please, please, please give me a like. All right, you guys, see you later. Bye.